pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay. Just a point of reference, behind you, off to your right is an exit, and off to here in the front right is an exit. First order of business, I'd like to take a roll call. Trustee Berenger?
Berenger's present.
Trustee Ferrara?
Ferraro present.
Trustee Carl?
Carl present.
Trustee O'Connor?
O'Connor present.
Mayor Dwyer, thank you. Okay. Before we continue with our business, I'd like to ask for a moment of silence for two members of our community who were very instrumental in their civic duty to this community, and I want everyone to acknowledge them for a moment, please, in silence. Joseph Umberto and Liz Smith, two longtime village and town employees. Thank you. Okay, next order of business, a public hearing introducing local law 1 of 2026 to override the tax levy limit established by General Municipal Law, Section 3-C. Can I get a motion to open the public hearing?
O'Connor make motion.
Second,
Carl second.
call the question.
Berenger, aye.
Ferraro, aye. Carl, aye. O'Connor, aye.
Dwyer, aye, so carried. Let's consider the public hearing open. Anyone wishing to speak, come on up to the podium, give the clerk your name, and we'll go from there. Okay, I'd just like to make a note that no one has come forward to speak on this introductory local law. So I'd like to get a motion to close the public hearing.
O'Connor make motion.
Second,
Ferraro second.
call the question.
Berenger, aye.
Ferraro, aye. Carl, aye. O'Connor, aye.
All right, so carried, thank you. Next order of business is a public hearing introducing local law number 2 of 2026, the amendment to chapter 135 littering. I need a motion to open the public hearing.
Berenger will make the motion.
Carl is second.
Call the question.
Berenger, aye.
Ferraro, aye. Carl, aye. O'Connor, aye.
Dwyer, aye, so carried, thank you. So introducing a local law 2 of 2026, which is an amendment to chapter 135 littering. A public hearing is being held this evening, Tuesday, January 20th, 2026, in the boardroom of the Village Hall, 7 Stage Road, Monroe, New York, at 7 p.m. to review a proposed local law entitled Amendment to Chapter 135 Littering. The Village Board of the Village of Monroe hereby determines that garbage and refuse left at the curbside too early before garbage pickup attracts rodents and other vermin that endanger public health and safety. Anyone wishing to speak upon this matter is welcome to come on up and address the board and give the clerk your name. Just while we're talking about it, council, just so everybody is abundantly clear on this, this has to, or reflects our work with amending the time.
Yeah, there's a certain time that you can't put the receptacles out before 3 p.m. and you can't, you know, the day that they're being picked up, and you can't leave them out later than 8 p.m. the following day. So basically there's a time frame wherein you can put garbage out and take it back in. That eliminates what's been happening in the village apparently, is that people are just putting them out for days, not picking them up, putting them back, and it's attracting vermin. It's unsafe and unsanitary. So
Okay.
this will give the village the authority to enforce.
So 3 PM on Monday, back in the garage by, or wherever, by 8 PM Tuesday.
Mhm.
Well, it gets picked up on Monday, so it'd be 3 PM on Sunday, back in by 8.
Well,
The
yeah.
following day,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you, Marty. Thank you. Okay, if no one wishes to speak upon this matter, I make a motion or ask for a motion to close the public hearing for local law number 2.
Berenger will make the motion that we close the public hearing.
Carl will second.
Call the question?
Berenger, aye.
Ferraro, I.
Carl, aye.
O'Connor, aye.
Dwyer, aye, so carried, thank you. Okay, next order of business. I need a motion to approve the meeting minutes of January 26th as submitted by the clerk.
O'Connor make a motion?
Second,
Carl will second.
discussion?
The department report.
Yeah,
We
the
still got
reports.
I'm sorry.
Sorry, let's do this one and go back. Call the question then.
Berenger, aye.
Ferraro, I.
Carl, aye.
O'Connor, aye.
Okay, department reports.
Call the question? Did we do that?
Just did it.
We did.
Okay, next order of business is to approve the department reports as submitted by the department heads. Can I get a motion?
Ferraro make the motion.
O'Connor will second.
Discussion?
Yeah, just a couple of quick notes on the, on the water report. Again, just to bring to the board's, attention. Last year, 2024, water produced at the filter plant for the month of December was 32,186,641 gallons. This year's 35,000, 5,000. About 2.8 million gallons more this year than last year. So again, the water is being consumed. It's not water leaks or anything like that for the most part. It's, we just gotta watch ourselves with our water and start looking for additional sources.
Okay, thank you. Okay. Any further discussion? Call the question?
Berenger, aye.
Ferraro, I.
Carl, aye.
O'Connor, aye.
All right.
One other thing on the DPW report, is there any way, I know we did it last year, a couple of years ago, he asked for it. He puts down his, winter events when they're out doing snow and ice control. Is there any way we can get the tonnage of salt
Mm-hmm.
that's being utilized so that we have a general idea?
Sure.
Thank you.
Give me, send that out.
Got it.
Okay, next order of business is the budgetary transfers and modifications as submitted by the treasurer. Can I get a motion to accept them as submitted?
Berenger will make the motion.
Second, please.
Carl will second.
Discussion? Call the question?
Berenger, aye.
Ferraro, I.
Carl, aye.
O'Connor, aye.
Dwyer, aye, so carried, thank you. Next order of business, resignation of Anthony Felice, full-time village treasurer. Trustee O'Connor?
Resolved, the Board of Trustees regretfully accepts the resignation of Anthony Felice, full-time village treasurer, effective February 2nd, 2026. The Board of Trustees wish Anthony all the best in his future endeavors, and to put this in the form of a motion.
Second, please.
Berenger will second.
Call the question?
Berenger, aye.
Ferraro, I.
Carl, aye.
O'Connor, aye.
Dwyer, aye, so carried, thank you. Next order of business is the reappointment of Erica Shetty Monroe Joint Parks Recreation Committee, trustee Farrar.
Resolved, the Board of Trustees reappoints resident Erica Shuddy, 5 Mid Oaks Drive, Monroe, New York, as Commissioner to the Monroe Joint Parks Recreation Commissioner for a term of January 1st, 26 to December 31st, 2031. I'll put that in the form of a motion.
Second, please.
Berenger will second.
Call the question.
Berenger, aye.
Ferraro, I.
Carl, I.
O'Connor,
Dwyer, aye, so carried. Thank you. Okay, next order of business, the adoption of local law number 1 of 2026 to override the tax levy limit established by General Municipal Law 3-C. Whereas the Village Board of the Village of Monroe duly noticed a public hearing held on January 20, 2026, and whereas the Village Board solicited public comment during said public hearing on January 20th, 2026, and whereas the purpose of said local law is to authorize the Village Board to override the limit on the amount of real property taxes that may be levied by the village, and to further allow the Village Board to adopt a budget for the fiscal year commencing on June 1, 2026 that requires a real property tax levy in excess of the tax levy limit in accordance with General Municipal Law 3C. Now therefore be resolved that the above whereas paragraphs are incorporated herein by reference. The local law authorizing a property tax levy in excess of the limit established in the General Municipal Law 3-C, or as attached hereto as Schedule A, B, and hereby is adopted as local law number 1 of 2026 of the Village of Monroe on January 20, 2026. 3, the Village Board hereby directs the village clerk to take all steps to process and file said local law. And 4, this resolution shall take effect immediately. I need a motion to accept and adopt this resolution.
Carl will make that motion.
Second,
O'Connor will second.
call the question.
Berenger, aye.
Ferraro, I.
Carl, I.
O'Connor, aye.
All right, so carried, thank you.
Mr. Mayor, I just want to remind the public that nearly every village and town in New York State adopts this at the beginning of every budget year, so that if they do have to go over the tax limit, they can. However, that doesn't mean that the budget is going to exceed the tax cap limit. Typically, these are pro forma local laws that are adopted just to give the board flexibility in case something unexpected happens and you do have to go over the tax cap. And then after the budget is adopted, these local laws are rescinded if you do not go over the tax cap. So just want to kind of report that out to the public so that people understand this doesn't mean the village board is going to exceed the tax cap.
This allows them to, should they need to.
Should you need to, that's correct.
Okay. Next order, the adoption of local law number 2 of 2026, amendment to chapter 135, littering. Whereas the Village Board of the Village of Monroe duly noticed a public hearing held on January 20, 2026, and whereas the Village Board solicited public comment during said public hearing on January 20, 2026, and whereas the Village Board of the Village of Monroe hereby determines that the garbage and refuse left at the curbside too early before garbage pickup attracts rodents and other vermin that endanger public health and safety. Now therefore be resolved that the above whereas paragraphs are incorporated herein by reference. 2, the local law amending chapter 135 littering is hereby adopted as local law number 2 of 2026 by the Village Board of Monroe, by the Village of Monroe on January 20, 2026. 3, the Village Board hereby directs the village clerk to take all steps to process and file said local law. And 4, said resolution shall be effective immediately. I need a motion to accept and adopt this local law 2 of 2026.
Ferraro, make the motion.
Berenger will second.
Call the question.
Berenger, aye.
Ferraro, I.
Carl, I.
O'Connor, aye.
Dwyer, aye, so carried. Thank you. Okay. Okay, next order of business is a discussion and hopefully a resolve to do this. Trustee Carl has been working on this with regard to the Solitude group that do manage the ponds and the reservoir. Trustee Carl?
Yep, this is regarding the Monroe Mill Ponds here. We did have a discussion with the principals of Solitude last week, and I think we've come up with a little bit of a savings for the village, both with the ponds here and Montbassia Reservoir. So with the ponds, resolve the Board of Trustees authorizes Mayor Dwyer to sign the proposal with Solitude Lake Management for sonar and algae controlled treatment of Monroe Ponds, with invoicing to be billed monthly from April through September in the amount of $3,166 for a total of $18,996 to be allocated from budget line A7110.4500 Parks Contractual. Put that in the form of a motion.
Second, please.
O'Connor will second.
Discussion?
Yeah, just, there's two separate permits they're gonna file, for the ponds down here. In the event the one doesn't work, but they have to get them both filed at the same time, or there's a lag, and we may not be able to get it during the season.
Fair enough.
So they're gonna be doing the sonar and the cutrine, I think that's called. One's an algicide and the other's a herbicide.
Got it. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Further discussion? Call the question?
Berenger, aye.
Ferraro, I.
Carl, aye.
O'Connor,
Dwyer, aye, so carried. And the next item is the discussion on the, continued discussion on the Monbassia Treatment Reservoir proposal. Trustee Carl.
Yep, same thing, we had a negotiation with them, we were able to get this lowered by over $5,000, a little over $5,000. Resolved, the Board of Trustees authorizes Mayor Dwyer to sign the proposal with Solitude Lake Management for I can never pronounce that, prochlor treatment of 65 acres of milfoil in the Monbassia Reservoir, and the total amount is $75,189, with 50% due upon execution of agreement and the remaining 50% due upon completion of the treatment to be allocated from budget line F 8320.4330 source chemicals. And I'll put that in the form of a motion.
Second, please.
O'Connor will second.
Further discussion?
Yeah, there was another, we only got the two here, but there's also the one for the renewal.
It's in it's in the end, because
Okay, all
I'm
right,
just doing it as I got them,
okay, all
and I
right.
already had them in the,
Yep.
yeah.
Okay, thank you, Kim.
Okay. Call the question?
Berenger, aye.
Ferraro, I.
Carl, aye.
O'Connor,
Dwyer, aye, so carried. Thank you. Next order of business, village elections, March 18, 2026. Election inspectors, poll workers, machine operators. Trustee O'Connor.
Resolved, the Board of Trustees hereby appoint the following certified county approved workers to serve as machine operators and election inspectors / poll workers for the March 18, 2026 village election. The polls will be open from 6 a.m. to 9 p.m. Compensation for the chairman is $300 a day. Poll workers and machine operators is $275 a day. Machine operators Lawrence Lezak and Teresa Friedman. Election inspectors, poll workers Giovanna Rodriguez, Gene Strobel, Richard Strobel, and Paul Eden. Alternates, Cora Chacon and Brenda Conklin. Put this into the form of a motion.
Second, please.
Ferraro, second.
Discussion? Call the question?
Berenger, aye.
Ferraro, I.
Carl, aye.
O'Connor, aye.
Dwyer, aye, so carried. Thank you. Next order of business is payment authorization number 5 for the Van Kuren Booster Pump Station. Trustee Carl?
Yep, resolve the Board of Trustees accepts the recommendation of Village Engineer John Higgins, P.E., and approves payment number 5 submitted by TAM Enterprise Incorporated for the Van Kuren Booster Pump Station Project Electric Construction in the amount of $7,713.53 to be allocated from budget line F 8340-4500, distribution contractual. All documentation has been reviewed and found complete. Mayor Dwyer is hereby authorized to sign voucher for payment, and I'll put that in form of a motion.
Can I get a second, please?
Berenger will second.
Discussion? Call the question?
Berenger, aye.
Ferraro, I.
Carl, aye.
O'Connor, aye.
Dwyer, aye, so carried. Thank you. Next order of business, New York State Division of Homeland Security and Emergency Services, initial response to active shooters, Officer Lindell and Officer Parada. Trustee Berenger?
Be it resolved, the Board of Trustees approves the attendance of Officer Lindell and Officer Parada to the New York State Division of Homeland and Emergency Services for initial response to active shooters course on February 1st through February 3rd, 2026 in Oriskany, if I'm saying that correctly, New York. This training is designed to place officers in reality-based scenarios to prepare for an initial response to active shooter events and other types of aggressive, deadly behavior. There is no cost for the training and lodging, and I'd like to put this in the form of a motion.
Second, please.
Carl will second.
Discussion? Call the question?
Berenger, aye.
Ferraro, I.
Carl, aye.
O'Connor, aye.
Dwyer, aye, so carried. Thank you. Next order of business is the Water Department Generator Preventative Maintenance Annual Contract. Trustee Carl?
Resolved, the Board of Trustees approves a generator maintenance agreement for the Water Department with Peak Power Systems for biannual service of 5 generators in the amount not to exceed $4,747.85 as recommended by the Water Department, and after review of proposals from GenServe for $6,385 and Peak Power System for $4,747.85, with the understanding that the Van Kuren system may be removed from the agreement due to its being replaced, and authorizing payment to be allocated between the water budget lines F8330.4500 and purification F8340.4500 distribution contractual. Now, that one, excuse me, that one can probably be removed from that. That's a single-phase generator.
Right,
Now, is there any place else in this village that could be utilized?
yeah,
Village Hall or,
we should keep it. Definitely keep it.
but it'll be removed, so do we want to have that unit serviced? Regardless?
I think it's in here, so let's leave it.
It's in there to be serviced, so we can have it serviced, this way we can disconnect it, and we can bring it down to DPW until such time we decide where we want to put it.
Yeah,
So you got another backup generator.
absolutely, good idea.
Okay, so then, I'll put it in the form of a motion.
O'Connor
Yes.
will second.
Call the question?
Berenger, aye.
Carl, aye.
O'Connor,
By right, so carried. Next order of business is a funding request for planning board application fees, 10 Webb Court. Trustee O'Connor.
Resolve the village board hereby authorizes the refund of planning board application fees in the amount of $1,350 to the applicants Lawrence and Barbara Mallory for the property located at 10 Webb Court, Monroe, New York, upon determination that the application did not require site plan review. And be it further resolved that this determination is based on the building inspector's subsequent review, which clarified that the initial interpretation requiring the site plan review was made in error, and that such review was not necessary. And I'll put that in form of a motion.
Second, please.
Berenger will second.
Call the question?
Berenger, aye.
Carl, aye.
O'Connor, aye.
All right, so carried, thank you. Next order of business is the authorization to sign the 2026 Ace Tent Amusement Corp. Agreement, Village of Monroe Summer Carnival of 2026 on July 30th, 2026 to August 2nd of 2026. The Board of Trustees has been presented with a contract from Ace Tent Amusement at 59 Westmoreland Drive, Yonkers, New York, for the Village's 2026 Carnival. The dates of the event are Thursday, July 30th, 2026 through Sunday, August 2, 2026. The agreement states that there will be 14 to 16 rides furnished by Ace Tent Amusement, with ticket prices ranging as follows: $2 per ticket, 20 tickets for $30, $45 for $60, and $35 wristbands per night for unlimited rides. Ace Tent Amusement will supply 50 posters promoting the event, as well as 2 banners and 35 lawn stakes. Additionally, there will be $100 per game donated to the Village of Monroe, and Ace Tent Amusement will supply the Village of Monroe with 40% of the gross receipts. Ace Tent Amusements will also provide an $8 million insurance policy naming the Village of Monroe as additionally insured, as well as a copy of proof of workman's compensation. Ace Tent Amusements will also provide the porta sands and dumpster, as well as contribute $4,900 towards the security for the event. This contract is a 2-year contract for the years 2026 and 2027. Now, I'll read the resolution and then we could discuss this. Resolve the Board of Trustees approves the 2026 contract and agreement provided by Ace Tent Amusements for the annual Village of Monroe Carnival to be held in Crane Park, July 30, 2026 through August 2, 2026. Hereby, Mayor Dwyer is authorized to sign the contract. I need a motion.
Carl will make the motion.
Second?
O'Connor will second.
Discussion?
Yes.
Yeah, stop there.
I just feel like $35 is a lot of money for a wristband. I know since I've been on the board, it was 20, then it went up to 25, then it went up to 30. And for people that have, years ago I had 4 kids that I would be bringing. I feel like it's expensive, and I kind of feel like there's not a lot of rides for the teenage group that comes. I feel like it's a lot more. I know we need for the little kids, but
Yeah, most of that money, if they're asking that much money, it's gonna be the older kids who want a little more exciting, not just a brand new Ferris wheel. And in the past, She hasn't brought the big rides. She's brought maybe 2, tops 3. And on her website, she has 7, which I noted today as I sent out that email, which we seldom see. And I think we need a guarantee that we need to see 4 to 5 of those that she lists on her website for the older kids who really want to enjoy themselves. And most of the rides are kiddie rides. And I really think we need those larger rides. And if she wants $35 for a wristband, which is a lot of money nowadays, she needs to bring the bigger rides.
Okay.
Like, my question is, do they split? Are they at 2 carnivals, or is it one like, you know what I'm saying? I know it's a family business. Are some things in Monroe and then maybe some things are somewhere else, or is everything?
They run one unit.
Yeah.
They only have one unit, there's
Okay.
one unit that goes out on the road.
Yeah, like,
They-
I just want to know if I were to
They
go
have a
to,
storage lot down in Yonkers that
Okay.
they park all of their equipment.
so if we could look at, I mean, I want to know that the $35 we're spending, are we getting what the other towns are getting? I know they go to Long Island and some other places, but I just know when you're like 13 and 14, you're looking for
For a more
something.
exciting ride and a little bit more to it.
Well, we usually get the repeat rides that the Harriman Fire Department has over at Walmart. It's usually the same. Maybe she changes out 1 or 2 rides, but,
I think there was,
Well, I sent everyone a list, and I think we should send that list to her before we approve this and ask her to guarantee those, which rides that she'll send.
Okay.
you know, it may be, I don't know. I mean, it may be, does she have the operators to run the bigger rides? Maybe that's why she's not bringing them. I'm just playing devil's advocate here, but I agree with what the board's saying. It is a good moneymaker for the village,
Mhm.
and that money goes into the Crane Park Reserve.
right,
All right.
So that money goes basically back into Crane Park. The cost that we get on those ticket rides, usually somewhere, $35,000.
right.
4 or 5 days are here, so and it goes right back into the park.
It is definitely a good money maker.
So it's good in that aspect, but
Mhm.
I get what everybody's saying, and it seems, we're out there putting the wristbands on the kids and stuff, and I'd like to see a little change of scenery there, maybe some different stuff,
It would be
like
nice.
Andy's alluded to.
Yeah.
And the younger people, I know, they know the rides that would come here normally and the rides that don't show up again. And I've been told clearly by the 13, 14, and 15-year-olds, why don't they bring the zipper back? Why don't
Yeah.
they bring the paratrooper back? They know the rides by name, and how come that doesn't come back? So I would like to see those rides.
Yes.
I would like everybody to simply say this was the best carnival ever.
All right.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, it doesn't really bother me that the price went up, like everything does,
Right.
but I couldn't agree more, it gives a little bang for the buck,
Okay.
for the older kids.
But being out there, and you guys know, because you were all in the ticket booths, and Debbie and I was outside the ticket booths. The money just doesn't seem to be an issue. You don't hear
No.
anybody complaining about it, and everybody's happy and having a good time, so. But yeah, let's, now my only question is, according to the resolution, we're only looking at the 26 contract where they proposed a 26 and 27. So are we just looking to do the 1 year for now, or are we looking to lock into a 2-year contract?
If we can get what you're referring to in writing, or get
Mhm.
better, understanding, I would say in good faith, you take a 2-year deal like we just came out of. It shows ownership to them, and we've had a long-term relationship with them, so.
Well, and
But
again, $35, it sounds like a lot, but it's also more money that the village is gonna get towards Crane Park, to put into Crane Park.
Yeah, in the $5 increase, we see $2. They get 3, we get 2,
Yeah.
out of the 40-60 split. All right, so-
Do you want to, is there a way of approving this? if
No, I'm
certain
just gonna,
things-
no, just table it. Just table it, let's have a conversation. I'll
Mhm.
have, you sent out, I'll have the clerk call Roseanne, and I'll be happy to take up a conversation or whatever's needed. Fair enough? Okay, next order of business is the Monroe Woodbury Islamic Center sewer connections, Village of Monroe's right-of-way. So this is actually on village-owned, not village-owned, we have a right-of-way, deeded right-of-way. And the Islamic Center needs to connect through ours, so there has to be a resolution that permits that to happen. Resolve the Board of Trustees hereby approves the proposed easement in connection with the Monroe Woodbury Islamic Center, granting permission for the Monroe Woodbury Islamic Center to work within the village's right-of-way to install and maintain a line and pump connecting to the village's sewer system, provided that upon installation of the sewer connection, the easement shall serve as an indemnification to the village, and that the easement shall be subject to the approval of the Village of Monroe Department of Public Works for any street openings and the Orange County Environmental Facilities for sewer connection. And the village board finds the easement as reviewed by engineer Higgins and planning board attorney Liz Cassidy to be acceptable. So I need a motion to accept this easement resolution.
O'Connor will make the motion.
Second,
Carl will second.
discussion? Call the question?
Berenger, aye.
Ferraro, I.
Carl, aye.
O'Connor, aye.
Thank you. Okay. Okay, the next order of business is a resolution authorizing an application, so we would approve the application process for recreational trails program funding, which is a New York State Trail Fund. We're trying to acquire funds that connect our Crane Park and walkways with the Heritage Trail. It's a great opportunity. It's time sensitive. Sometimes these things just kind of fall our way, and it's a good opportunity to make a great application. We've got the paperwork already in place. The board just needs to resolve to approve us to do it. So whereas the Village of Monroe is seeking grant funding through the New York State Office of Parks, Recreation, and Historic Preservation under the Recreational Trail Programs, RTP, to support planning and design activities for a trail connectivity project known as the Mill Pond Heritage Trail Connector Project. And whereas the Mill Pond Heritage Trail Connector Project is located within the Village of Monroe, Orange County, New York, and is intended to improve pedestrian and bike access between key recreational, civic, and residential areas while strengthening a vital connection to the Heritage Trail. And whereas the proposed scope of work for this application consists of planning, preliminary engineering, and the final design for multi-use trail improvements within the village's Mill Pond corridor, including a redesigned pedestrian crossing at Mill Pond Parkway and a future trail between Lake Street and Stage Road. And whereas the Recreational Trails Program requires that the applicant municipality obtain approval and endorsement from its governing board to submit an application, and if awarded, to carry out the funding, planning, and design activities in accordance with all the applicable state and federal requirements. Now therefore be it resolved, the Board of Trustees of the Village of Monroe hereby authorizes and endorses the submission of an application to the New York State Office of Parks, Recreation, and Historic Preservation for recreational trail programs funding to support planning and design for the Mill Pond Heritage Trail Connector Project. Be it further resolved, the Board of Trustees authorizes Mayor Dwyer or other duly authorized official to execute all applications, agreements, and related documents necessary for the participation in the recreational trails program. And be it further resolved, the Village of Monroe acknowledges that the project may require a local share and commitments to provide, and commits to providing any required match and to administer the project in compliance with all applicable program, procurement, and regulatory requirements, subject to the final project budgeting and budget terms. I need a motion to accept this resolution and apply for this grant.
Ferraro will make the motion.
Second,
Carl will second.
discussion? Call the question?
Berenger, aye.
Ferraro, I.
Carl, aye.
O'Connor, aye.
Dwyer, aye, so carried. Next order of business is the agreement from Solitude Lake Management. Trustee Carl, for copper sulfate.
Resolve the Board of Trustees authorizes Mayor Dwyer to sign the service contract for the Monbassia Reservoir with Solitude Lake Management in the total amount of $14,964, consisting of monthly payments of $3,741 for a period of 4 months, beginning May 1, 2026 through August 31st, 2026, for copper sulfate treatment for reservoir algae control, with said funds to be allocated from budget line F8320.4330, source chemicals. And I'll put that in form of a motion.
Second, please.
Berenger will second.
Call the question?
Berenger, aye.
Ferraro, I.
Carl, I.
O'Connor, aye.
Dwyer, aye, so carried. I just didn't see this at the back,
I
but
know,
I'll,
I'm
yeah, I'll
sorry,
just,
that was my fault.
it's all right. I'm just gonna read though, okay?
Yeah.
So, earlier tonight, we asked for 2 moments of silence. I'd like to just read, actually what we had hoped to, share with the public and the folks out on, the internet and the TV world. So Joe Umberto, he had passed on January 12, 2026, and it's with deep regret that we announced the passing of Joe, who was a current and active member of our planning board. Joe was a passionate man who stood by his convictions. He was the epitome of a public servant, gave so generously over many years to serve the village of Monroe in many capacities. He was and will remain a true example of his strong conviction on matters both personal to him and professionally as well. The willingness to serve was undisputed and was for all the right reasons. That is a vanishing way of life throughout this country. I will always treasure our debates and respect for each other's views. I am richer for it. We offer our deepest condolences to his family, his wife Linda, his children, David and Leslie, granddaughter Chloe, and their families. It was a mass at St. Anastasia's. They gave him a great send-off, if you'd like to call it that. It was a beautiful mass, and it was well attended, and I think that speaks to the character of the man and the services and his service in the community. The second one is Liz Smith. I've known personally Liz Smith for maybe 35 years. Liz was a good-hearted person. She had a lot of passion for a lot of things, and I'm going to miss her desperately. I watched her children grow up. PJ, he worked for me while he was in college and after college for a short time, and he's like a son to me. So I'm going to miss them her as well. So we announced her passing. She passed on January 16th, 2026. I was there tonight for a little while. I'll attend the funeral tomorrow. She was a building department secretary for 26 years, and 27, excuse me, and she served under Bill Moente. Anybody that knew Bill knew it was a tough job to work under him, because I dealt with him. So all the best to the family, and the last thing I just have is a reminder, per chapter 170 of the Village Code, streets and sidewalks, snow and ice must be removed within 24 hours after the end of a snowfall. Sidewalks in front of commercial establishments and commercial parking lots must be kept free of snow and ice at all times between 9 a.m. and 5 p.m. And I believe that's what I have. Trustee Barrett?
I was actually going to comment on the sidewalks. I've been pretty impressed, at least in my neighborhood of Maple Knolls. I drove around a little bit, driving my daughter, and I saw a lot of cleared most of the sidewalks were clear, maybe 1 or 2 houses weren't cleared, but it really helps for the kids walking to school. I know it's a pain to shovel, and for the people walking their pets and everything. Hopefully people are walking in the sidewalks rather than in the road. I also want to just remind people to shop local. We have, plenty of restaurants here, plenty of stores that we want to remember, we want to keep them here. So if you could just support them, that would really help our village.
If I could interrupt you, sir?
Go ahead.
Yeah. So I do apologize. There was one thing I asked council about it, and I neglected to bring it up to the board. So I had a meeting, I've had several with the Chamber of Commerce, and as well as talking to some of the different members of the community that have businesses here in the village and so forth. And the kiosks that are outside are becoming more and more troublesome in terms of distractions, exactly, for folks that are coming in, people that are here. And that was never the intent to install them. In trying to ascertain the different details about it, I spent a lot of time before they were actually purchased. And several things were discovered. Myself, Trustee Carl, I believe you were out there too with me. And several of the issues that became quite apparent was we have a mixed downtown. And the mixed downtown includes retail businesses as well as people that live there. And parking, what it is in the village of Monroe, we found that cars would park on the street and not afford people the opportunity to come into the village. Another thing we found was some of the businesses were actually taking up parking spots during the day of business. I didn't understand that, given the fact that we are challenged with parking out here. So it was based on 2 of those most important pieces. that the board took up the matter and decided that, hey, we had the lollipop meters. They've been around since 1946. Let's try to update ourselves. We just spent a lot of money in the downtown, and it may be a good idea to consider. So we brought in some vendors with the PD's assistance, and we identified who's out there, and they gave us a product and an ability to get these units, which we did. But they've been really difficult. Distraction's a good word, but I think at the same time, I think it's also been difficult to try to explain the reasons for it, which included, we want people to come into the downtown. And as I've said in the past, there are well over 300 free parking spots in the Village of Monroe, just in the downtown, from the movie theater to the two public parking lots that we have, and including out back here. The spots on the street are maybe 40 at best, and it's a challenge. It's a real challenge. So, but in speaking with the chamber and speaking with some of the business owners, I think we have to consider more research. I think we have to consider maybe a committee, maybe some more dialogue, and decide that maybe we need to look at this a little more comprehensively, maybe more so than what we did, taking what we had and bring that to the table, because I think that's important. You have to know where you came from to know where you're going, right? So I think that's important, and I think it has to be very frank with the business owners. I think we should schedule a workshop. And I think while that's happening, I think we need to bag the meters, leave them in place, just bag them, and make a notification that, till further notice, no parking requirements in terms of meters or paid parking. It still will require you to have a 2-hour timeline on your parking. So if the PEO is out there and he finds that you parked there at 9, he happens to be during his tour, and he sees you're at 12, he may take a peek. It's unfortunate. It's not a really pleasant thing to do, what he does. He does a great job of it, and we appreciate that diligence, especially in these strip malls. But I just think that's what I want the board to consider that tonight, and we should have that conversation strictly because I just think there's just too many pieces that are just not settling anymore. And the more people I speak to, I've spoken to the chamber, as I said, I've spoken to 3 businesses in the past week, and this is somewhere they need to go. So, we have to be responsive to the community, to the business community. I'm a brick and mortar business for 40 years. My wife is across the street and has been for 32 years on the street. So, I tell the story that when you're self-employed, you go out fishing. And when you fish and you catch a fish, you eat. You don't catch a fish, you don't eat. So I never want to be the person that is not giving the fishermen in the downtown an opportunity to do their best work in sales and so forth. I think it's important that that shot be given. These brick and mortars are part of the mom and pops of America, and I think it's important that we give them an opportunity to voice their concerns very clearly and see what other opportunities there are out there. We had some issues with the library, their 10-minute spot. I went out and investigated it. Andy went out and investigated it, and it's not being used as a 10-minute drop-off spot. It's being used as a parking spot. And it's unfortunate, but it is what it is. So those kinds of conversations need to be had. I think we need to have this time to kind of put that together. It's the middle of the winter. I'd like the board to obviously all weigh in and discuss it, but I would like to come to some resolution this evening.
I agree with you, but also when I went to pull into Village Hall today, there were 3 bigger vehicles that were not Village Hall people, and I think that people just assume we close at 4:30, but we don't, because there's always meetings and things going on. So it makes it hard for us too to park when, I don't know if we need to say no parking till like 10, I don't know, a certain time.
Yeah.
But it's hard for us. But I know there's definitely been a lot of complaints about the kiosks, but people just can't abuse, as you're saying, the 2 hours.
We need to focus on those parking spaces and let the people decide. If, I know there are some residents say they don't come into the village anymore because there's no parking. or that, not that there's no parking, that they have to use those meters. And now let's hear from them when there's probably going to be no parking because people are going to abuse that. And let's hear from those same people after several months, and let's hear them say, well, you know what, I did want to come down there and park now and shop, but I can't because there's no parking anywhere. So let the people decide.
Mhm. I agree.
I agree with what Andy, because, you know, I'm in town here all day long. When we redid the sidewalks and widened them, and we didn't have the parking meters in there, every parking space downtown was full during the day. And a lot of it, you know, years ago, living here as a kid, a lot of the elderly people lived on the top floors of the, you know, the bakery and all the storefronts down there. There was a lot of elderly people that didn't have cars. Now those apartments, as you see it in the back here, are vans, and there's just a lot of people living in those apartments, and they're gonna be back out on the street, mark my word, because they were before we put the meters in, and there was no place to park.
Yeah.
And that's where we're gonna head again, and then, but, you know, the old meters worked, each parking spot had its own mechanical meter, you got out, you dumped your quarter in, you twisted it, quarter turn, and you went and did your business. Now, the kiosks are spaced out a little bit, so you gotta, you know, it's confusing for some. I know when I used to go down to the train station to go to the Yankee games down in Terrytown, what do you mean a kiosk? You know, and they had a kiosk, and then I had, you know, they gave me a ticket, I ran back and put it in my dashboard. Oh, you don't have to do that. Well, you know.
Got your license, right?
So, but again, unfortunately, people will take advantage of it, but if this is what, you know, we want, and parking is always free after 6 o'clock at night anyway. So if you're coming to a restaurant at 6.
That's an interesting thing. Not to interrupt your thought.
Yep.
If you show up at 5:10, it won't accept your money because you're not getting the hour you paid for.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so that's even narrower.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I'm sorry.
No, that's, you know, but that's, you know, I get it. It's modern technology that we put in, and,
I think the hardest part, especially for older people or me, is remembering your license plate.
Yeah.
I never remember my license plates. I always have to walk back and get the license plates and come back.
I'm surprised you don't have it in your phone.
I know,
You have
yeah,
everything
you're
in your
probably
phone.
right, yeah.
One of the interesting elements is in that parking app, not even the Flowbird, the P, which is probably in 50 states. If you have an account and you have an app and it says P, you hit P at 2 hours. Put your phone back in your pocket, you're done.
Yeah.
It's already got your license, it's got everything you need to do nothing. And then if you need to buy time, you can buy time. Marty, anything?
So the parking enforcement officer can still ticket if we get away with the,
He can if he sees the violation and he can attest to the fact that they're there for more than
He
2
would
hours.
have to, I guess, take a picture of the car when
Its
first
location.
season, and then, you know.
We'll have to work that out with
The
the
picture is timestamped.
they used to use a chalk mark.
Now you can't touch the car.
Yeah, they're not allowed to
Is that what
touch
you
it.
said?
Is that right?
Yeah.
You can't mark the vehicle?
Yeah, they don't
Right.
allow that.
It's
in
not
there.
allowed, okay.
another
It's
goal is
difficult.
assess meter
They used to
parking,
do it
right?
at this point.
Everybody has
Other-
their part.
Oh, yeah,
Our
yeah,
neighbors and all
yeah.
that.
Go to Warwick.
Ford has it, Goshen has it. Now, they have the lollipops.
Oh, yeah, I just used
The
it
problem with
yesterday.
our lollipops is that, at least in my experience over the years, so if somebody's backing into a spot, next thing you know, they bend over the lollipop. Then we have to get DPW out there to torch it, so it's heated up, it stands back up, hopefully it stands back up true and
Yeah.
plumb. And then the serviceability, they were breaking. And the service calls were averaging $500 a call. The replacements are expensive, the parts are expensive. So even if you went to a newer technology, let's just say, I'm just gonna throw it out there, let's say we went with the newer technology, maybe a digital technology. Still with the coins, right, which is now the only option. And I'm bad, I obviously don't have the change,
Right.
so I'm using the P app. But if you bought what was here, which I think was somewhere in the neighborhood of, I think it was 110 lollipops at $500 a piece, do the math,
50,000.
and then you gotta maintain them.
Yeah.
This, we don't do anything.
Great.
I think the public was always under the misconception that as the term came out, a money grab.
Yeah,
It never was.
Right.
It was never a money grab, but
Keep the-
not at 25 cents and 50 cents.
Just keep the parking flowing.
Keeping
It
it
was
flowing,
to
keeping it moving.
Keep it flowing, so one goes out, somebody else can come in. That's,
That's all it was ever for.
when a
Nothing
car
more.
anchors there all day long, that's, you know.
Yeah. So
Okay,
hopefully
so,
this will prove that.
I'd like to, council, I'd like to ask for a resolution to bag the kiosks,
Mhm.
6 months, let's say.
Up
And-
to 6 months,
Up to
Yeah.
6 months.
so that you have a little flexibility.
Yeah, well, you're gonna need time, you need to bring people together, you need to get them out in the audience, you need
Up,
to have
up to
community.
6 months.
Yeah.
Up to 6 months.
And it also is a season change
so we're
too.
putting a cover over them?
Yeah, we'll get some covers, I'll either make them
You can
myself
lock them
or,
on.
and just keep them on, we'll figure that
Now,
out.
those things covered up in the, they got that little solar panel on the top, that won't mess with the battery or anything, and it
No,
won't-
actually, if we get the cover, the proprietary cover, the cover top is out. It's actually
Clear.
clear, it laps onto it, yeah.
Okay.
I mean, I'm sure there'll be some tuning up,
Yep.
you know, just to make sure they're all syncing, if they
Yeah.
do get put back up and running.
Can we put a message on them instead?
No, I think you should close them.
Yeah.
Because I thought we
people
looked
don't-
about the
Because
bags and
every
I
year
thought,
since I'm a kid,
yeah,
those lollipops and these, it's free for Christmas.
right.
Yeah,
We probably get 60, 70 calls. This thing isn't working because it's turned off. People still want to jam a quarter in there. So why have a message that no one's reading anyway? Just beg them, then they'll know they can't.
yeah,
And if we put public service announcements out, I think that'll also help a lot.
yeah,
So we go on constant contact, we actually go on the meter, the cover, put some kind of notification, and then I think we'll be in pretty good shape. So, council, can we adopt that and have Kim?
Yeah.
Yeah,
This,
okay, so I need a motion to accept the closing down of the meters, the kiosks, for a period of up to 6 months while researching and bringing stakeholders to the table.
Ferrell make the motion.
Second?
O'Connor will second.
Call the question?
Berenger, aye.
Ferraro, aye.
Carl, I,
O'Connor, aye.
Where ayes are carried. All right, thank you, and I appreciate the time, Andy, thank you.
I have nothing.
Got nothing. Trustee Carl?
no, I don't have anything tonight.
Okay,
I'm good.
right?
Yeah.
Okay,
I gotta go to my grandson's
Gotta go home.
birthday. He wants his
You're
we're
birthday
good.
cake.
Okay,
Oh, yeah.
council, do you have anything? Okay, so I need a motion to close the public meeting?
Berenger, make the motion.
Oh, I'm sorry,
Sorry.
any public comment?
Oh, sorry. I thought we were supposed to have a court today.
Court's tomorrow.
Oh, it's tomorrow.
Yeah, Wednesdays, starts at 5 to.
Better off being a
I
day
thought we
early.
have like court at 7:30, so that's what I know.
Oh, I'm so sorry, I wish, yeah. Well, you could,
Village.
I'm glad you came in, anyway.
All right, that's good.
But yeah, is it village court or town court, do you know?
Yeah. It's a taken court because last year I drive a car to my friend and he have an expired registration.
Okay.
Suspended insurance.
But does your ticket say 7 Stage Road, do you know?
Yeah, that's what it says.
Okay, good. So that'll be tomorrow night, but it's not traffic tomorrow, it's criminal tomorrow.
you should call the
Is it
court.
town or village?
You know what you
It's
do?
not there.
It's village?
I have the message.
Yeah.
That's probably the easiest.
Yeah.
There's a message on the phone. If you want to call them too, I can give you a number to call tomorrow.
At least he got to see his local government.
Yeah, it's a 7 Monroe village.
I'm all mixed up with my dates
Yeah.
today, too.
free, absolutely.
That's like this is the message. I called last week.
7 Stage Road.
7 Stage Road.
Yeah.
Okay, so my
It's
suggestion,
in Spanish.
and it's in Spanish.
It's in Spanish.
So what I would do tomorrow is, Kim, if you want to take the number down, what's the phone number to the court, Kim?
845
Hold on a second.
782 8721.
Yes.
Critical area.
Okay. All right. I'm gonna give a call tomorrow.
Okay.
All right. Thank you so much.
All right,
Okay,
thanks, have a
thank
great
you.
night, stay warm.
Bye. They don't come in until like after 11, so
Yeah,
make
no.
sure.
All right. No problem.
WSP, which CUSAC works for, did not show any.
Did you want to speak or no? No, okay.
Okay,
So I'll make the motion that we close the public meeting.
second?
Carl, a second.
Call the question?
Berenger, aye.
All right.
Aye, aye, so carried. Thank you. Have a great night.
You too.